Tommy, the Duke, Morrison was once the pride of American boxing. He had knockout power, movie star charm, and a future that seemed unstoppable. He went toe-to-toe with legends like George Foreman and even co-starred in Rocky V. But behind the bright lights was a life slowly falling apart. Addiction, denial, and reckless choices destroyed everything he worked for. The same fire that made him a champion eventually consumed him. He died alone, broken, and just 44 years old. This is the story of a warrior who became his own worst enemy, while the world stood by and watched him fall. Tommy's story didn't begin in a boxing ring or on a film set. It started in Gravette, Arkansas, where he was born on January 2, 1969. He grew up in Oklahoma, where life was anything but easy. His home was filled with tension and violence. His mother, Diane, had a fierce temper. His father worked in the oil fields and had a brutal past. Tommy often talked about being beaten as a child. He learned how to survive, not how to dream. By the time he was 10, he was already fighting in underground matches with no rules or safety. At 13, he used a fake ID to enter bare knuckle tournaments with grown men, and he won. People called him the White Mike Tyson. It wasn't just height. His left hook was deadly. He had speed, power, and a spark that turned heads. Coaches saw something rare in him. One said his punch could stop a train. In 1988, Tommy entered the Olympic trials and stunned everyone by making it to the Western Finals. But he lost to Ray Mercer in a close, controversial decision. That loss crushed his Olympic dream but gave birth to something more dangerous: his obsession to prove himself without anyone's help. He turned professional later that year and tore through the heavyweight division. In just 3 years, he had a record of 28 wins with 24 knockouts. Every punch was a statement. He didn't just want to win. He wanted to dominate. Promoters loved his look. He was young, muscular, and charming. They called him the Great White Hope, a title filled with controversy, but one that sold tickets. Hollywood came calling. In 1990, Sylvester Stallone chose Tommy to co-star in Rocky V. It wasn't just a role. It was a launch pad. He became a movie star, a national name. But fame comes with a price. The parties never stopped. The alcohol flowed. His friends saw the cracks, but no one said anything. Tommy was drinking heavily, disappearing for days, and ignoring injuries. No one wanted to ruin the money train, so the warning signs were ignored. Then came the night he fought George Foreman in 1993 for the WBO heavyweight title. Many thought Foreman would crush him. Instead, Tommy surprised the world. He didn't brawl. He boxed. He moved. He won. And he became world champion. That moment should have changed everything. But it didn't. Just months later, he lost the title in one round to Michael Bent. A single punch ended his reign in 93 seconds. That one loss shattered a $7 million fight with Lennox Lewis. It also shattered his confidence. The boxing world started to doubt him. Fans turned away. And Tommy started to fall apart. The loss revealed more than weak defense. It showed emotional cracks. After that fight, he was never the same. He still had power, but his focus was gone. His partying got worse. Drugs, alcohol, chaos. His personal life was falling apart. In 1996, the worst blow came not in the ring, but in a blood test. Tommy Morrison tested positive for HIV. His boxing career was over. What followed was not just emotional collapse, it was criminal. By the late 1990s, his name was no longer on posters. It was on police reports. In 1997, he crashed his car while drunk, injuring 3 people. He was given a chance at rehab. He blew it. That same year, he was charged again for DUI and speeding in Kansas. He kept avoiding prison. But he didn't change. In 1998, he was arrested in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. More charges include drunk driving, reckless driving, and fleeing police. In 1999, he was caught again, this time with a loaded gun, marijuana, and cocaine. Just days before, he had received a suspended sentence. He was out of chances. That Thanksgiving, he was arrested again drunk, high, impersonating someone else, and carrying another concealed weapon. With his past convictions, that gun meant prison. In January 2000, Morrison was sentenced to 10 years. 8 were suspended. He served 2. The man who once beat George Foreman was now an inmate 119679. But even that wasn't rock bottom. He got parole in 2001 and talked about turning things around. He gave interviews. He said he wanted to change. But his eyes told a different story. He was lying to others and to himself. In 2002, he violated parole and was sent back to jail. He just couldn't stay clean. Then, in 2007, came one of the strangest chapters. Morrison claimed he never had HIV. He said the tests were wrong. He booked 2 fights. He won both. But they weren't real comebacks. The opponents were weak. The fights were short. It was all smoke and mirrors. Even his former agent said Morrison had tested positive just months earlier. But Tommy kept pushing the lie. He told reporters HIV was fake. That the whole disease was a scam. He wasn't just in denial. He was spreading it. He went public. He gave interviews. His wife, Tricia, backed him. She claimed he had a rare nerve disease, not HIV. She said doctors were wrong. Morrison's words could influence people to stop taking life-saving medicine. A doctor once said Morrison was a cautionary tale turned into a weapon. Still, he believed he could box again. In 2006, he returned to the ring in Arizona, a state that didn't require an HIV test. He won again. But it wasn't about boxing. It was about proving a lie. Every punch he threw wasn't for victory. It was to deny the truth. But his body told a different story. By 2011, Tommy was unrecognizable. His muscles were gone. His face looked aged. He could barely walk. By 2013, he could no longer speak. Rumors spread. Was it cancer? No. It was what HIV does to a body when left untreated. His wife said he had Guillain-Barré syndrome. His mother said it clearly. Her son died of full-blown AIDS. In September 2013, Tommy Morrison died in a Nebraska hospital. He was 44. His death certificate listed cardiac arrest and organ failure. His final years were spent not just in illness, but in delusion. Even as his body failed, he clung to the myth. The disease, the chaos, the denial, all of it destroyed him. And still, no major boxing figures came to see him. No tributes. Just silence. Tommy Morrison didn't just die from a virus. He died from the refusal to face it. Magic Johnson reached out. His family stood by. He had every chance to fight back, but he didn't want help. He wanted to be right. That need to prove the world wrong is what killed him. His story could have ended with redemption. It didn't. It ended with machines keeping him alive, in a hospital room, surrounded by silence. Tommy Morrison didn't lose to an opponent. He lost to himself.